Yeah.
Amazing.
So now let's move into the Ujayi part of it, okay? So let's say if I was teaching breath, I would go through that.
Yeah.
But close your eyes again. And just return to that long, luscious, nourishing inhale. And exhale. This just makes me want to like just do yoga right now. Okay. and that's again just as a side note. This is where the magic is simple, right? So I'm finding I'm still just getting off on just inhaling and exhaling without having to put my finger and close a nostril and like visualize a chakra and like connect to gods and like get the golden nectar coming down, and, right? So that's what I get off on. Okay, all right. So getting back to that inhale, exhale. Okay, so if I was teaching, I'm going to teach it the way I would teach you. And then I'm going to teach you how I teach a pure beginner, okay? So as you stay with your long inhale and exhale, and notice that when I say inhale, I inhale as well. Just play with brushing your breath now along the back of your throat. So you can almost feel that friction. A favorite teacher of mine, she actually uses the word stroke. And she always, just to get your nervous system to calm down, where it's that idea of, like you're stroking yourself, you're caressing, you're being gentle with yourself. What's nice is that when you feel that brushing of the breath, or the stroking of the breath along the back of your throat, you start to hear that calm ocean sound and the negative ions that come from the ocean, the deep relaxation. Think about that feeling that evokes probably in all of us, like, oh, we're in the ocean, we're at the beach, we're relaxing. So suddenly Ujayi isn't this thing that we do with an Ashtanga or a Vinyasa practice. It's this way that we calm our nervous system down. And this is just purely my experience and speculation. So it becomes a very grounding thing that we get to listen to. Technically it's a really heating breath, but I like it for the calming of the nervous system and the way it focuses and grounds. Now the other beauty is that because you're feeling this stimulation along the back of your throat, because you're feeling that stroking, that brushing, you're actually connecting to your throat. And from my experience, who doesn't go through that fear of speaking their truth? That fear of, our throat is the way we communicate our truth to the world. This is what we become authentic with our yeses and nos. And especially when you're taking your long inhales and exhales, with that long exhale, where you're just naturally activating your pelvic floor. So you're getting into your root chakra in your pelvis. You're starting to draw that connection from your pelvis all the way up to your throat. So you're just naturally connecting yourself. You're linking yourself up. And what I'd like for you to experiment over the next few months, year, is when you track your students, notice, is there a majority of people who are disconnected in some way to throat or neck? Who would we be as a world if we actually all said what we really felt and really asked for what we really wanted and started to say no to what wasn't appropriate? So this can be a really deep collective healing, the Ujayi breath. And a lot of trauma gets caught in here, because think about all the ways we've suppressed, and the throat connected through the jaw, through the ear, the things that get stuffed in our ears, the things we choose to hear, the things we choose to block out, all the stuff that's just been in there, both through society, family, everything, the stuff we tell ourselves. So to start to clear this whole channel from throat, jaw, and ears. So that to me is what's so motivating about Ujayi breath, is that energetic clearing and connection that can happen. And then let's just extend it where then suddenly you get to access, because you start to trust yourself, whatever this third eye thing is, right? But there is something there. Because you can start to listen when you're focused and present and feeling and allowing yourself to feel what you feel. Then you can start to trust this wisdom that comes through you. So you don't need to go ask anybody. You don't need to pay any money. You don't need to change a thing. You get to trust the stuff that's inside of you. And that to me is what yoga's about. It's stripping back into the rawness, the realness of what we already are. And so if we're going to extend it back to pranayama, there's a lot of teachers out there, and I'm not ripping on any teachers, but I guess from my experience is that we can get, and I know I'll speak from my experience, I've gotten caught up in the complications and the ornamentation. You want to keep it simple and real. Your students, like we were saying earlier, your students are going to feel that truth. Because when we're speaking as teachers, we want to come from that place. And then it's like, what's the namaste, right? It's I am you. What does that really feel like? When I'm speaking truth, then I'm simply speaking as you. It's beyond words, but you know what I'm saying. And to me, I think when I started teaching, it was, can I get into that feeling? Can I actually get into that namaste feeling? What is that? What is that? The breath. The breath gets us out of our mind, right? So Ujayi, I think, is really important. And I've been finding lately, just the way that I'm teaching breath with you is a way that I find is helpful for everyone. It's helpful for me when I wake up in the mornings, because I have to de-scramble myself as well. And if you've got total beginners where, you know, brushing the breath along their throat, if that sounds a little complicated, a really simple tool would be to say, imagine you have a mirror out in front of you, and you're trying to fog the mirror with your breath. And you have them practice it with their mouth opens. And you got to be really expressive with it, like be louder and bigger than all of them. Yeah. You know, where like they don't feel weird. And it'll be really helpful for people who have like jaw issues, you know, and that just feel weird about themselves anyway. To be like, right? And so, and then have them feel, okay, what muscles are you feeling in your throat? What are the sounds that you're hearing? Is you're inhaling and exhaling. And then have them close their mouths and still make that sound and feel those muscles. You know, and I'm sure you remember, I mean, it was the first few years of me doing Ujayi. It was like, in the beginning, I had no idea. Yeah. Then I thought I knew everything. And now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to breathe. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.